Hello, so this is me making the rest of my Halloween costume. That's what I've already made. It's my heart bag. If you want to see how I created that, go to my other video that's a part of this whole Halloween costume. Let's get on with it. Okay, before I get on with it, just want to preface that I actually didn't plan to make my own skirt or top. I'd already bought some, but they just didn't fit right and they just didn't look how I thought they would look. So then I created my own skirt and other bits. So for example, these are actual fishnet tights, but I bought a size large and medium because they didn't have any smalls, and I was going to give one to my friend, but she found some that were smalls that would fit her. So I used the medium ones for like arm things, but I had to cut them. So I made finger things. That took a while. I had to sew around my fingers so that they wouldn't undo, and then I added a band on there, and the large ones didn't fit me because I do be an extra large. I do be a big human, so I cut off the feet part where your actual feet go, and I then sewed around there so that it wouldn't unravel, so that where the foot would actually go was where my ankle was, so that it would give it some more room. So yeah, that's something that I didn't include in this video, so I just wanted to explain it. I bought a single fitted bedsheet from the charity shop and then cut the elastic off, as well as cutting it in half. I then laid that out and I sewed the two halves together to make it long ways so that it could fully fit around me while also having pleats in it. At first I was going to measure everything out so that the pleats can be perfect, but by the time I realised how much maths that involved, I was like, perhaps not that, because that's too much maths in my poor old brain. So instead I just measured how much material I actually had, so I put it up on my little pole so I could see how much I had. I then halved it so that I could easily double it afterwards, because otherwise it was too long to measure. I then started pleating, trying to be as even as possible. Before sewing the pleats, I tried it on to make sure that it would fit and be able to stay up, and that it wasn't too small or too big. This is me sewing my pleats using a back stitch because they're the strongest stitch, and I wanted to make sure it was nice and strong. To bring the skirt together, I wanted to make sure that I had nice finished edges, so I used my straighteners to straighten my seams so that I could sew them correctly. To make sure that the skirt could fit, and just for fun, I added a little zip. I then pinned that zip in place and then I sewed it. Very slowly but surely sewed it. It took so long, but I did it. This is just a time lapse of me sewing that seam and sewing the zip in place. The zip doesn't go all the way down the skirt, it only goes about 3/4 of the way down. Therefore, I added a seam in there. I sewed the seam first and then left enough gap for the zip to fit, and then added the zip afterwards. This is the zip put in place. It works perfectly, which is important. I then tried on the skirt. It fits. It's a bit loose, which I'm going to add another pleat later on just to make sure that it's nice and sturdy. But other than that, it fits quite well. I then needed a hem it, which is my worst nightmare. I hate hems. I hate hems so much. But I was figuring out how much I need, how short I want the skirt to be, and how much of a hem it needs. As the costume is inspired by Monster High, I wanted it short, but I didn't want it too short that you could see my bum, because that's not what I'm going for with this. I then ironed the hem down and pinned it in place so that I could sew it. I then sewed it. I bought a brown scarf from the charity shop. I then added that on there because Wendigos have more of a brown feel than a just straight up red. So I pinned that in place and then sewed it into place using a back stitch as always. I then added that to the zip as well so that it wouldn't go away and it would be nice and secure. I then whipped out this shirt I don't really wear that's a past project and added some eyeshadow to form a rib cage. The next morning I then bleached that rib cage. I then washed out the bleach, let it dry and tried it on. I added the shirt and skirt together to make sure they looked good together, and I was done. I then put on some makeup and put the fishnets on and all the accessories on. I made the antlers by using the metal wire of those books that have those circular kind of metal spines. I got the wire, I made it into some antlery shape and then twisted it around a headband I had. And then I added some material, and over that I added some thread, making sure that the material would stay in place. And here you go, here's the final product. I didn't get many videos of the actual costume itself, so here it is. Sadly, I didn't record any videos with the bag, so there's a photo for you of what it looked like. Thank you so much for watching this Halloween costume. I had a lot of fun. That's a lie. I had some fun making it. It wasn't a lot of fun because I did go absolutely insane while making the skirt, especially the hem. Not big fan of hems. Who actually is though? Thank you for watching this fun little Monster High inspired thing of making our own characters. My character's called Wendy and it's Windigo. So thank you for watching me become Wendy and have fun in some fishnets, you know. So yeah, if you want to give it a like, give it a like. If you want to do that thing where you subscribe, you can do that thing. I'm not going to force you to, but if you really want to, you can. Don't expect good quality videos from me, and don't expect a good upload schedule, because that's not me. I've got more important things than to upload fun videos, sadly. I wish I didn't. I wish this was my life, my job, but it's not. So I've got to live in the real world. So I'm going to go live in the real world now. By that I mean binge watch some series so that I can die down from social interaction and just having a fun time. So yeah, bye.